Good morning. I have been tasked to come before you today and share with you a story about St. Barnabas and myself. Why St. Barnabas is meaningful to me and why I have chosen to make it a part of my life. All this, as you know, is in response to our stewardship campaign. After all, giving is a form of worship and an expression of thanking God for what God has given us. And please know this, St. Barnabas has been a crucial and integral force in my life, a stabilizing and uplifting influence as I have navigated the hurricane-force winds of divorce, the calming seas of blessed wedlock, and the luminous sweet sunrise of parenthood. I am by nature, however, a modest man, and because of this, I am tempted to reframe the queries I was to communicate to you this day. I say to you that asking what St. Barnabas has done for me is fundamentally an inaccurate question. The precise question can be gleaned from recalling the parable of the Samaritan in Luke chapter 10, verses 25 to 37. Let's remember that this passage starts with a question when an expert in the law, and I'll call him a lawyer, asked Jesus, "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus replies, "What is written in the law?" And the lawyer answers, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul and all thy strength and all thy mind, and you should love your neighbor as yourself." And then the lawyer tries to trick Jesus and asks, "Who is thy neighbor?" And Jesus responds with the parable. And again in this parable, a man is robbed and left for dead alongside of the road. A priest and a Levite pass him by. Our Samaritan stops, binds his wounds, takes him to an inn, and ensures that he is taken care of. And after telling this, Jesus asks, "Which of these three do you think was the neighbor to the man that was robbed?" And the lawyer replies, "The one who had mercy on him." And Jesus replies, "Go and do likewise." In recalling this parable, how do these three men, the priest, the Levite, and the Samaritan, differ? And I would argue it is in the basic question that each of these gentlemen asked themselves. When they all look upon the man that was robbed, the priest and the Levite ask, "If I stop and help this man, what will happen to me?" But the Samaritan reverses this question, and he asks, "If I do not stop, what will happen to him?" So I implore you not to ask what will happen to you if you give to St. Barnabas, but if you do not give, what will happen to the church? Remember, all labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. We are all tasked to decide whether we will walk in the light of altruism or stagger in the darkness of destructive selfishness. Now, selfishness is not entirely wrong. We all want to be important, to surpass others, and achieve distinction. If you want to be important, brilliant. If you want to be recognized, terrific. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. I will end on some thoughts from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., who thought life's most persistent and urgent interrogation was, what are you doing for others? I, in turn, ask you the same question. What are you doing for others? Cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Expediency asks the question, is it politic? Vanity asks the question, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right? And there comes a time when you must do something that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but you must do it because it is right. If, one and all, we keep resolutely faithful to our neighbors, then, with God's help, we shall prevail, we must prevail. And so I ask you to think of the parable of the Good Samaritan, and I ask you to go and do likewise.
Thank you, John.